Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Steve Kenyon Podcast. I'm Steve Kenyon, and we're going to do a lot over the next few weeks. From the College National Finals Rodeo, that's where I'm at right now. They'll crown champions on Saturday night. You can watch it on ESPN. To the Crystal Springs Rodeo in Clear Lake, South Dakota, to 4th of July and the Livingston Roundup in Livingston, Montana. I'm going to try to get a lot of maybe shorter interviews, but share them with you on a daily basis. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. Today's program is sponsored by Wrangler, Long Live Cowboys, by the Justin Boot Company. Thank you to Resistol. Thank you to Equinity, teamequinity.com. To the M2 Ranch Jerky and to the Cuban Hay Company. To Next Gen Rodeo and the Cowboy Channel, to Rodeo Life Magazine, all sponsors of the Steve Kenyon Podcast, along with the Grand View at Las Vegas. Today, we talk to Alan Moorhead, who is a terrific rodeo announcer. He spends a lot of time these days going to some of the biggest barrel races in the country. We'll talk about all of that coming up just a moment on the Steve Kenyon Podcast.
Hi, I'm Trevor Brazil, 26-time PRCA World Champion Cowboy. If you want to keep your horse at the top of their game, you need to have the Equinity Edge. I use Equinity because it's all about the horse. It helps with the longevity and overall maintenance of my horses. Team Equinity is challenging you to try Equinity Horse XL for the next 30 days and beyond. Watch how your horse transforms both in look and feel. To do this, go to teamequinity.com to get started.
Hey y'all, this is Cody Johnson. When I was starting out in music, most every radio station and venue I went to told me no. At that point, you got two options: tuck tail and quit, or buckle down and fight. Well, I'm a fighter, not a quitter. And that's why I wear Wrangler jeans and shirts. Their toughness and style are legendary. They're an iconic symbol of the West, and there's no quit in them either. Life's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And if I'm gonna enjoy the ride, I'm riding in Wrangler. Wrangler, long live Cowboys.
I got a chance to talk to a really good friend, fellow rodeo announcer, actually two-time Women's Professional Rodeo Association Announcer of the Year. Alan Moorhead joins us, one of the voices. Alan, you have become, over the last few years, in addition to everything else you do, the voice of some big-time barrel races around the country. That's been kind of fun for you, I think, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's fun to watch too. There's a lot of great horses out there, and just the culmination of those that are going now. A lot of great folks riding and training, and a lot of great horses are being ridden and being trained, and a lot of times you can just see the want to in them.
Yeah, there are some bloodlines out there in particular that I think are really starting to take hold. But you've had a chance to see. You've seen we see Cassie Mowry, for example, in the rodeo arena. You've seen
how do you not start without her?
With all those great horses that she brings through the futurities and the derbies and the big,
right?
And as much as I think we're starting to appreciate what a great trainer she is, you've seen it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I first met her probably back in 2001-ish, 2003. She takes her great little old dark horse. And she came from English riding and made the transition. She was first traveling with Danielle Campbell. Went to the International Finals Rodeo and won the aggregate there, and that was in 2003. And from there, it's just been soft hands and just relying on what the horse wants to do, pretty much. You can watch her with Jarvis, and there's no whipping, and it's just getting on down the road. And right now, just eclipsed $7 million in earnings. Yeah. And that's probably without some even counted from the early days, because I don't know when Equistat actually even got started. But it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. She's probably not the only trainer about whom we could tell that story. That we think we know
absolutely.
What they've accomplished, but there's a lot that we maybe don't know. Technology has made all our lives easier, I think.
Well, in case in point, going to the NFR in the last couple of years, she can rodeo without a focus on rodeo. She won right at $500,000 to win the world. And yet for the year with Equistat, she was over $1 million in earnings, right there with Brandon Cullens, who won the $1 million on one run with Seeger's Fast Lane at the American. And that's just a lot of the rodeo folks don't really realize and see what they're earning outside of the rodeo money.
It's a story I think we all need to do a better job of telling, whether it's me in forums like this or me on the Cowboy Channel. This barrel racing business has exploded.
Oh yeah, and in the past several that Cassie has been to, has she been to more than 30 rodeos? She's leading the world right now with 131,000 at 9 rodeos. I mean, that's something within itself right there.
Yeah. That's 10, 11,000 a rodeo, or 12.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right to get there. And of course, you got Brittany Posey knocking on that door at number 2 right there at 89,000. So, you just look at that difference.
Yeah, it's really been an amazing thing. Who are you? What are the 2 or 3 bloodlines you feel like you see the most at the Futurities? Can you quantify that at all?
That would be, honestly, now, of course, it's going to be the Goodbye Lane. Probably your number 1 guy right now,
and that's Jarvis, right?
That's Jarvis.
Yeah,
Jarvis is a Goodbye Lane, and actually, so is Thunderstruck Lane. That Brandon Cullens, he's riding that horse now. And if you remember, Seeger's Fast Lane was a Goodbye Lane that he won the American with, and set several records on money earned and times at several different deals as far as like the Pink Buckle and winning that Derby last year. He's just a hand, and Thunderstruck Lane is no different. That is a Goodbye Lane. I can't remember exactly what mare that is out of, but of course they're going, and he was 3rd at the Super Stakes in December at the Barrel Futurities of America. That's 23,000, and he's just off of a dual win in the 3rd year of the 5-year-old Futurity. And you know a little bit about that. You're young. The 5-year-old Futurity at the Old Fort days, he's the first 4-year-old in the 3 years to win not only the Futurity but the 5-year-old Futurity, and the 5-year-old was just under 19,000, just over 20. So right at $40,000 on that one weekend right there for Brandon at Thunderstruck Lane, of course, by the Goodbye Lane.
Yeah, Alan, I got a stupid question for you. Do you remember?
I probably have a stupid answer.
People always ask me, do you remember all that stuff or what? Do you remember all that stuff or what? Is it all written down? Is there some massive computer database that, I mean, you seem to remember a lot of stuff if folks are listening to you.
Well, it's just like at the, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, I imagine, like with the advent of the Pink Buckle and the Ruby Buckles, of course, there's stallion incentives, several others out there, Breeders' Challenge, Royal Crown. At those, when I have the entry and I have my day sheet, it has the pedigree on there. Some of it getting into a little bit further. Yes, I do remember, but I've got stacks and stacks of sheets and notes, and even one in front of me right here, right now.
Yeah,
I just like to kind of be accurate, and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah, it's always better to get it right, for sure.
Yeah, exactly right.
I've learned that the hard way a few times. Alan Moorhead is joining us. You know, these big events, the stallion incentive programs now, how much have they changed the face of the barrel racing industry, and potentially now, I think they're going to start to really creep into the rope horse business too.
Well, yeah. Actually, when you think about Pink Buckle, Ruby Buckle, they have the Riata Buckle now, which is focused on roping. And they had their first Riata Buckle sale in Las Vegas tied in with the World Series team roping. And I stepped in from Saddle Pad booth, which is right by the door that goes into the arena there at South Point, and watched it for a few minutes. And the roping horses were catching on pretty doggone good with what they're going to be bringing. And it's like a money kind of a thing. But the thing is what a lot of people don't realize, and I try to point out, Steve, is that it is a industry-wide infection, if you will. There's a cause and effect for everything, because the Ruby Buckle, Pink Buckle horses, they're bringing a lot of money. People say, well, I can't afford those. So what that does is it's a trickle down. And if you've got the open horse that is not in one of the incentives, but is yet a really good horse, his price is increasing as well, because you've got to have somewhere to get them, and they've got them. So if you pay attention to what's going on, say, well, they're not going to buy that horse in the Pink Buckle, Ruby Buckle, Breeders' Challenge, whatever it is, then it drives the market on the horses that aren't incented.
How many big barrel races, how many big events do you do a year?
Oh, gosh. I do probably
And I'm not ignoring the fact you still do some pretty good rodeos, too.
Oh yeah, and I love them both. Rodeo's kind of like a vacation, except for the fact that, and you know yourself, because I've heard you, and you put a lot into it too. There's a lot of research that goes in. You got to study those sponsors and of course the livestock. And there's some folks that are making it easier for us now with some rodeo reports that we get before. There's a lot that goes into it, but I really enjoy them, and I really enjoy even still the barrel races, the long barrel races. because you never know where they're going to come from. It was just like this past weekend. I was in Las Vegas at an NBHA deal, and there's a horse that I'm a super fan of, Haley Wolf from New Mexico. She owns this horse called Iron Eyes Rio Bravo. A couple of years ago, there was an injury, and equine surgeons were saying it's the end of his career. And her dad is a veterinarian, not a surgeon, but a veterinarian. And he says, nah, it's not over. And I've watched him run several times, just a big dude. And she won a bunch of money this last weekend running that horse in Las Vegas. Iron Eyes Rio Bravo is his name. And he's just a really cool dude. He's by Iron Eyes Doc and Big Stout Gray. And he's just a tribute to the heart. He doesn't win because he's supposed to. I mean, he's bred really nice. He's had a brother go to the dinner party to rope it. But and the deal is he wins because he's got a heart bigger than he is.
Yeah. Tell me about my partners at Next Gen Rodeo. They've had an impact on this whole industry, haven't they?
It seems like that. I mean, and it's coming on pretty strong with some of their technology that they're putting into it.
For example, does that make your life easier up in the announcer stand?
Oh God, yes. Technology, information, and whatever we prepare for, you and I, Steve, it is just exemplified through what they're doing now with Next Gen. Good friend of mine, Tyler Harrell, that I've been timing with for years. There's kind of a collaboration there, and he came into the industry timing futurities and such as that. And with working with him a lot, he has learned what I need and to convey to the people where the standings are. And that's as far as go rounds, past go rounds, average, where we are with that and going in. Of course, at the BFA, you qualify on the faster 2 times for the first and second go round. Average figures in the short go round with your qualifying time and your short go time for the World Championship of the Barrel Futurities of America. And he's just done a great job. And they've been working back and forth. And Next Gen, we were using their technology with Tyler at the Old Fort Days Futurity, and just to be able to look at the screen and see, you know, where your leader's at, where your 2D's at in the go round for the Futurity and the Derby. And of course, when we get to the 4D consolation race, all 4 of those D's are there, and it really helps a lot. For the barrel races, it makes everything a whole lot more convenient when you're doing with just one deal and not sending a check here or there, whatever. It makes that really convenient for the logistics of the show. And that's basically what Next Gen did. They timed. We used their timing technology at the Old Fort Days Futurity just a couple of weeks ago, and I was impressed with how they've got it all together. They've been listening to Tyler, and they've been having some stuff that they want in there. And what I need when I need it is there. Leaders in the 1D, if it's in the second division long go round of the Old Fort Days Futurity, because it's always a 2D, and then the consolation race is a 4D. And in one corner of their monitor on that screen, I could have all 4 Ds, who was leading, who was second, I do believe. And it's just really cool.
Yeah. I think it's helping to change the industry. I really do. I think it's.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some new things coming technology-wise that'll make it even easier to enter and get paid.
Yeah, big step in the right direction.
Yeah, really has been. Really has been. Alan Moorhead's joining us. How many events do you go to a year?
Oh, Lord. Not as many as I used to. Heck, it used to be somewhere around 42, 43. But wanting to kind of stay closer to home a little bit. And I mean, I still want to go. I'll probably do 35 in that neighborhood.
You had won 2 Announcer of the Year awards in the WPRA back before anybody else did, if I remember right. That had to be kind of a rewarding experience.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great organization, the Women's Professional Rodeo Association. And that came at a time when there was some discrepancies one way or another between them and the PRCA and that kind of thing. But I stuck with them. They stuck with me. And it's been a really good relationship.
Yeah. It's kind of cool to get those things. I'm not going to lie. I've had that.
I see one on the wall behind you.
Yeah, I'm proud to display those. Not going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So what's next, Alan? Where are you going next?
I leave actually tomorrow morning for a super show for the National Barrel Horse Association in Syracuse, New York, and then it's on to South Jordan, Utah, for the second in line of our Ruby Buckles with that Ruby Buckle program. That'll be almost $2 million to be paid out. Pink Buckle this year is paying out over $4 million. American dollars.
Did you ever think 20 years ago we'd be seeing that kind of money available?
No.
Me neither.
Only if you're top 15 make it to the NFL.
I didn't think you'd see that kind of money available. Collectively, yeah, but
right.
You've got world champions routinely winning $500,000 or more a year now in rodeo, and the numbers are only going up.
Exactly right.
Exactly right. And if you're Brittany or if you're Cassie Mowry or somebody like that, and you can successfully work both sides of that fence, you can have $1 million.
And Brittany's another, like we were talking about Cassie. There was a time when Brittany's focus was rodeo. And then she started going to some futurities and derbies. She's a Barrel Futurities of America Derby world champion. She's won the futurity and was also second that year as well, a couple of years ago. And then she goes on and wins another world title at the WPRA and with the NFR. And the thing about it is there's another one, just like we talked about Cassie, the over right at $500,000 in the rodeo industry, and then the rest of it came from the futurities for over $1 million in a year.
Yeah.
Well, Brittany's done that same thing before.
Yeah, Brittany won when she won the world title in 2023 in the WPRA. Yeah. She won $500,000 in the WPRA more or less, and she won more than that outside the rodeo arena at the other events.
Oh yeah. And at the Pink Buckle with Trace Chase and Babe PZ, she won that futurity, and then she sold another mare into sale, and it went really, really big. I'm just going to say that's all I'm going to say. We're not getting into that business, but
it's rewarding to see that happen, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's the fruits of an effort.
Yeah.
And when she won that title, I saw her right afterwards, and with that Trace Chasing Babe PZ. And the matter of fact, it was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang that she had that reserve title on. And I think that was the first time in, 40 years or some out of the Barrel Futurities of America that somebody's won the championship and the reserve championship. She says, I think I might just start staying at home a little more. And, I said, yeah, right. Yeah, right. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Tell me about your days at these big events, Alan, because if folks turn on a live stream from whomever's live streaming it, or if we're carrying on the Cowboy Channel Plus app or whatever, you're there all day.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a few things like we have coming up late in July. The National Barrel Horse Association, its presentation of its youth and teen world championships, and there's probably going to be, I'm going to say, and I don't know what the number is as of now, but I know we'll be running 2 arenas, which means that the youth and the teens, teens going to be somewhere around 1,200 head, and then the youth is probably somewhere between 400 and 600. We do run 3 announcers for the long go rounds, and then myself and Linnell Dean will do both sets of finals for the teens and the youth. But for the most part, there's times when you get excited, and there's times you just try to coast, but then the excitement of a run just gets you right back into it. And it's not a matter of getting and doing the deals; it's a matter of making it through them. But with the caliber of horses that are out there right now, it's pretty dang special to be involved.
What is your memory? I remember a long time ago now, it seems like, Martha Josie telling me about this new thing called the National Barrel Horse Association. And
she's a charter member.
Yeah. And one thing kind of led to another. Was the NBHA sort of the beginning of some of this barrel horse metamorphosis, or am I way off in saying that?
No, you're not. Talmadge Green, and I don't know where he got the idea from. He had heard it, seen it somewhere.
He was working with Martha.
Do what?
He was working with Martha at the time. Wasn't he training for Martha?
I don't really know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that.
He lives in South Carolina, and there was a relationship that developed somehow. A fellow named Rick Sykes, a news anchor down here who had interest in horses and things like that. I don't know if he heard went up with Talmadge. They went to W.S. Morris III, Billy Morris. He owns Big Cutting Horse Ranch. He actually, with that relationship and meetings, he is the driving force behind the National Barrel Horse Association. He owns the NBHA. It's Morris Publications, Morris Communications, Western Horseman, Barrel Horse News, all those publications. And that was the drive where it came from. And yes, the Started as the 3D, if you remember back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was in 1992 that they got the association started. And start that back again. I just saw my camera. Okay.
Oh, there you are. Yeah. It was in 1992 they got it started.
In 1992, the foundation was laid. Sponsors were starting to be gathered. 93 was their first year for the National Barrel Horse Association's national championship show at the time. Stayed that way for several years. And I got involved in 94 because I was helping announce at the Augusta Cutting Futurity that Mr. Morris was the chairman of. And we spoke. And first year I did it in 94. It was long days and such as that. And for the second year, Steve, that was when I introduced an idea. And I said, it's one thing to have a barrel race, but let's have an event. And I asked them about doing it like rodeo style. Mm-hmm. And when I say rodeo style, I mean that with music, build-up music and all this kind of stuff. And man, it kind of caught on. And here we are today in 2025, 1994.
Yep.
My first year with them.
Big
and
productions.
Still with them. Exactly right. Somebody asked me if I was going to retire. I said, no, I'm just going to die.
Well, don't do either of them anytime soon. Do that. Okay.
Yeah. No plans right now. No plans right now.
Attaboy. Alan, travel safe wherever you go. It's always fun to have a chance to visit with you. Thank you for all you do, and thank you. This, I really sincerely believe, and it's not just because Alan and I are friends, but I really sincerely believe that voices like yours have done as much to help to grow these aspects of this industry. You've contributed a lot, and you've given back a lot, and you've helped to make some people. I mean, I'm always amazed at your memory of things like, my son when he trains horses and he rides into the arena. I'm always amazed at
Philip Kenyon,
the stories you can tell. So.
And anyway. I know we've had several conversations about that mare that he won that Youth World title on at BFA back in the day, that Kanita Ching horse. And, man, I just wish you'd had an opportunity to get several more babies out of her.
Yeah, I do too. We miss her.
Absolutely. And, and talking about that with, I guess, the recognizability of the voice and that's another thing that helps get me through today is I don't pay that much attention to my phone, but I do get text and things like that here and there, folks saying they're enjoying it, and just generally it's always asking other questions. But the fact that that prompts them to give me a call or give me a text is just really cool. It's a great family. Yeah. It's a great family.
It is.
Barrel racing is a great family.
When you're at one of these big events, it really is kind of a family thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like I've said many times, I've been asked, don't you get homesick on the road and that kind of stuff? Well, my wife, Angie, she's a barrel racer. Both of my kids, are involved in the rodeo industry, and they're finding out what the road life is about. And brand new granddaddy, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Will and his wife had a baby in January, little girl, Taylor May. And but there's nowhere, and I know that you can attest to this. There's nowhere that we can go to an event, Steve, and not be around family.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's just how we take care of each other.
Yep.
There's not a spot on the map of the over 4 million miles of highways in the United States of America that if I'm broke down, I'm only 3 phone calls away from help.
Yeah.
I may not know somebody, but I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah. And eventually, that's the untold story, I think, of our whole industry is you have a bind, you get in trouble. There are going to be people there to help, and it's awesome.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Alan, thank you for your time. I know you're busy. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, sir. You have a great day.
Big thank you to my friend Alan Moorhead for joining us, and you can find Alan at a rodeo, a big barrel race, some kind of a big event coming up very, very soon. Today's Steve Kenyon podcast, sponsored by Wrangler, by the Justin Boot Company, by Resistol, by Equinity. It's all about the horse online at teamequinity.com. Thank you to M2 Ranch Jerky and to Cubit Hay Company, online at cubithay.com. To the Grandview at Las Vegas, to my friends at Next Gen Rodeo, and of course to the Cowboy Channel. We hope you will join us again later this week. We'll have a couple of maybe shorter interviews, but visit with some of the participants, some of the athletes and coaches that are competing at the College National Finals Rodeo. Coming to you from the CNFR in Casper, Wyoming. I'm Steve Kenyon. God bless everybody. This is the Steve Kenyon Podcast.